What's going on, everybody? Adam here with eTrailer. Today we have a 2017 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, and we're going to be taking a look at the Rhino-Rack Backbone roof rack system. Well, for our backbone system, it is going to give us two different options. We can do one, which is just putting the Vortex Aero crossbars up on top here, but also if you are a platform style fan, you can get a Pioneer platform rack up on top of these as well. And the really good thing about this is it really gives you more bar space. We have 3 bars up here now. You can get a larger platform tray, but the cool thing is it shifts everything back so we can still take off our top 2 panels so we can get some sun, but still have all of our accessories up on top here. There is some drilling required, so if you're not really a fan of drilling into your hardtop of your Jeep, probably not the system for you, but trust me, it's well worth it. It looks good and it will handle a lot of weight as well. So let's go ahead and get into that installation process. First thing we need to do is remove the hardtop on the back of our Jeep. So once we have that done, then we can start assembling some of our support brackets for the inside of that hardtop. Now it's time to assemble our support brackets, and one way we can find out if it's the right side, one, we want the Rhino rack to be facing in, and we are going to have all these holes line up really nicely. And another thing to notice is there's a little edge here that is going to go towards the front of our vehicle. So once you find out that you got the right size, we're going to go ahead and start assembling. Now we want to go ahead and take our bolts here. We want to put a lock washer on there, and then we have a normal washer, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the smaller hole of the two. This is one that's a little longer. We're going to use this later. We're going to line it up just like this, put this on there, and we're not going to tighten these down yet. We just want to get them hand tight for now. Next bracket we're going to install are going to be the one that has the threaded stud on it. So what we want to do is lift this up, and we're going to take that stud and go through the bracket. But you got to remember, we have different types of brackets for each one, so we're going to make sure that we have the right one. Now for our second bracket, we're going to grab the one that has the threaded stud on it, and we're going to take a nut and a washer. And what we're going to do is raise this up, and we're going to mount it to where it's going to go through that hole. We're going to have this hole up top exposed, and it's going to be going towards the opposite end of this bend. So do that, put the washer and nut on it, and just get it hand tight for now. And we're going to do this for all 2 of these, and of course the other 2 on our other bracket. Now what we want to do is take our bracket here, and we're going to set it up onto the end here. Here's our back little tailgate. So we want to get it to where it's going to line up with this line right here. And you'll notice as you start to bring it back, it'll fall into this little tiny pocket, and it lines up really nicely with the back here. So once you get it to where you want it, take a paint marker of sorts and mark it with paint. So now we know exactly where to drill our holes. We're going to do the same exact thing for our second bracket, but with this one, it's going to go right up to this edge here. And again, we do want to line it up with the top part of that channel. Get it all in place, and then do the same exact thing and mark it up. And we're going to do the same exact thing for the other side. Now what we want to do is take our piece of paper here. You're going to notice gutter, front, and rear. So we're going to take this and slide it down in this little gutter here. And we want to make sure that this end of the paper is all the way to the outside of that gutter. We want to keep this in place as best we can. As best we can. And what we're going to do is take a little punch or something to mark our spots. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. For all of our holes, what we're going to start with is going to be an 8-inch drill bit, and then we're going to jump it up to a 1/4-inch drill bit, and that's going to be for all of our back ones and all of our ones up front. I always like to go in reverse. Just make myself a little hole, just because if you just start drilling, it wants to walk. But with this, you won't have much problem. For our front holes, we are going to have to go through 2 different layers, so make sure you get through both of them. And again, I like just going in reverse, then going through. There you go. Perfect. Now it's time to step it up to a 1/4 inch bit. We can open up just these 2 holes and these 2 holes, so the farthest back 4 holes on both sides. You really don't gotta push too hard. Kind of just let it go, let it slowly eat its way through. Perfect. All right, now for our front 2 holes on both sides, what we're going to do is take a step bit and we're going to open up the top hole to 18 millimeters and then the bottom holes to 16 millimeters. It's going to be the same for both different sides. So go ahead and do that. And you know you're good whenever you got nice tight fit around these, and now we can go ahead and go underneath and drill those out too. Now it's time to pad up all of our pieces. So we're gonna have one that is gonna look kind of like glasses a little bit. So just take the center pieces out. And then what we're gonna do is put them down here. We want to get it right to that edge and it's even across as we can, and we're good there. And then on our other bracket here, we're just going to have a longer piece and just put it right there. Try to get it not overhanging the edge, but right up to it. And then push it down. And then what we are going to get now is we have a bunch of little rings. We're going to put those right there to cover up those holes. Not cover them up, just surround them. It might be a little easier to maybe put it on the ground, flat part down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So we're going to put these on the same exact spot for both the right and the left side of this bracket here. Next thing we want to do is take the bigger circular pads right here. Take the middle guy out. Set that to the side. And then we're going to put it right here on this little section. And it is easiest just to kind of keep it on the ground. Put that on. Give her a good push. And then we're going to take our square little pad, take the middle guy out. Take this off. I'm going to put this over this hole. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this bigger square piece here. And that is going to go kind of like this. We don't want it to be sticking out of the side or anything like that. So once that's done, we just have two more of these small little circles. And they just go right there. And on the other one. And again, same exact deal as all the other ones. This is going to be the same on both the right and the left side. So for both our very farthest back bracket and our bracket here, what we want to do is take our hardware. It's got a little notched edge there, so what it's going to do is going to sit really nicely in those holes. So now that we have that on, those are going to stay, and then we'll go on the inside and finish up some other connections. Now it's time to take our bracket. Remember this? So everything is all assembled, and we're gonna just place them down. The holes should line up, which they do. We're gonna take our bracket and slide it into place. You want to kind of make sure that those screws don't go back through that hole. But what we're going to do is wash it. And we have a nylon lock nut. Goes right there. It would be a little bit easier with 2 sets of hands, but I can do it all by my lonesome. So now that we have that, we'll do it for the rest of our bolts. Now we just need a 10mm socket and our Allen key that came with the kit. Allen key goes on the outside on that screw we push through, and this one goes right here. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side and our other ones on this side. Now we're going to take our bigger Allen key that comes with the kit, and we're going to tighten this one up. And then the top one, we're just going to need a 13mm to tighten that up. Next thing on our list is we're going to take our 1/4" drill bit, and we're going to drill a hole down through this hole here once it's all installed. So this bracket's not going to move around at all. So the hole is exactly where we need it to be. There we go. Try to get all that stuff out whichever way you see best. Now all we need to do is grab our bolt like this and grab that little O-ring, and it's going to go on the bolt before we put it through the hole. So put it through the hole. And we're just pretty much going to take a washer and a nylon lock nut to go on the underneath of this. So now we want to take our washer, and we are going to have a nylon lock nut. So let's take the washer and put it on there first, and then grab that nylon lock nut to follow. And we're going to do this same exact process on the other side, and we can tighten these down right when we get them threaded on there. Now it's time to take our other piece. We're going to lay it down, and then we're going to have a little bracket, and that's going to go underneath, and we are going to have some screws to go into the threaded portions here. So now we're going to go ahead and take our little bolt, and we want to make sure it has the pressure washer and the washer on it, and start threading that in, and we can tighten these down all the way. So now we have our brackets here. So what I want you to do is go in between your front driver's side and your back door. Pretty much just unzip this, and you'll see the bracket here. Take this bracket, and if you put it up to it, we're going to take one of the side bolts out, and then these 2 top bolts. It'll line up, but don't put them anywhere far, because once we get them out, it is going to be replaced with the same bolt we're taking out. So be mindful of that, and be sure not to lose them. So let's go ahead and put the bracket in place and start replacing the bolts. So now that that's all done, pretty much all we have to do is just put our hardtop back on our Jeep. Now it's time to replace our 3 little bolts on each side. So now we can take our pads here and put them on these uprights right by the seat, just so we don't have anybody hitting their head or anything like that. So now that we have the backbone system installed, now all we really have to do is either put up some crossbars or a platform rack. Well, everyone, that just about does it for a look at the Rhino-Rack Backbone's roof rack system on our 2017 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.